Shalom, shalom, and Shabbat shalom to those who be viewing this on our online Power Talk class. My name is Brother Moshe Ben Yisrael of Israelite Heritage, and this is the second installment of that Part 5 lesson, the Fallen Angels. The first part was the origin of the gods and secret knowledge, forbidden knowledge, and now in this particular portion of the lesson, what we're going to do is go over the secret societies and the return of the fallen, because the fallen they're going to make a physical return. They're going to announce themselves as our gods, as we will show from Scripture. Now, I'll go over some of the references of some of the books that I'll be using. This book right here is Masonic and Occult Symbols Illustrated, forgive me. And this is by Dr. Kathy Barnes. And again, you guys recognize this because it's missing the cover. This is my Book of Jasher, as referenced in 2 Samuel and in the Book of Joshua, the Book of Jasher. That's what we're going to be using. Old Testament Pseudepigrapha Volume 1. We'll be using this one as well, again. And as always, here at Israelite Heritage, we like to use this. This particular translation of the Bible is called the Scriptures. And this is published by Institute of Scriptural Research. And again, the only reason we use this is because it's an easier read, for one, and I like it myself because it has the like the names of the prophets, like Yirmiyah, as opposed to Jeremiah, Yesaiah as opposed to Isaiah, and things like that. And it actually has some Hebrew in there. We're using the Book of Enoch again, and this one was Robert K. Brown, compiled and edited by. And lastly, the Dictionary of Freemasonry, and this is by Robert McCoy. Okay, so here we go. And now, firstly, I'm going to go right to this book right here, this Dictionary of Freemasonry right here. This is page 345, and this is going to define a secret society as defined by a secret society. So what better place to start? Let's get it straight from the horse's mouth. This is a very interesting book, man. There are tons of terms and things in here that I wanted to share with you guys. There's so much information to be put out as far as like just these secret societies and things like that. It would have took like 5, 6, 7 hours just to compile it, because that's Satan. That's how you know, man. Satan, he sends you around in like in loops. One god led to this god, that led to this god, that led back to the other god. We're gonna read about it, and we're gonna see it. We're gonna try to decipher it as best we can. But first, let's go over this definition of secret societies. Alright, and this is on page 345 of the Dictionary of Freemasonry, and it reads, all great associations of antiquity, the objects of which we were to civilize and improve the condition of mankind, were secret societies. They were called mysteries. The mysteries of India, Egypt, Greece, etc. were secret orders, great educational institutions. So there you go right there. They're letting you know that you had to go to an institute of higher learning, i.e. a college or a mystery school system as an initiate to learn this stuff. This information was not made readily available to available to everybody. You had to prove yourself worthy. Again, going back to that, making an oath and all of that stuff like that, like we discussed in the first lesson. They had to be selected, and they had to prove themselves worthy to go to these mystery school systems. It was mostly reserved for like the well-to-do, the wealthy, and things like that. Institutions established for the advancement of men in wisdom and virtue. The wide extension of the secret principle at the present time, and the immense number of secret philanthropic societies which cover all lands, prove that there must be some wants universally felt to which political institutions do not respond. So basically what they're saying is, I don't know if you guys used to watch that X-Men, they always say the truth is out there. That's basically what they're saying right there. There's something out there that regular, unknowing society can't give you. So that's the lure behind these esoteric societies. They're saying that there's something out there in regular government and regular society that you can't get, so you can only get it with him. Again, that's the lie that Satan gives you. Going back to the garden, which we read in Genesis chapter 3 previously. Alright, and it says political institutions do not respond. Some elements of human nature not represented therein, which are the cause and groundwork for these secret orders. So you see, you're not getting something from, watching TV or, just going to the library or something like that and reading regular books. There's something deeper is what they're saying. That's the mystery behind the mystery schools. But we, as, knowers of the truth, we know that the only secret is there is no secret. Because in Scripture it says there's nothing new under the sun. So that's the lie that they're telling you. When society and governments are oppressive or imperfect, all that are imperfect, when they do not provide for all the moral, intellectual, and physical needs of men, the earnest, the loving, the hoping, who dissatisfied with the present invoke the future. And the weak who are crushed to the earth by the oppressive laws which govern all industrial arrangements become disgusted with these conditions and fly to embrace some secret order where a higher ideal is revealed. See? And really, man, if you guys can remember back to when we read in the last lesson with the Genesis chapter 3, where Satan was trying to intrigue Eve, think of this right here. Think of what we just read right now as Satan talking to Eve, and it kind of makes more sense to you when you have that picture in your head. When I read this, that's what I hear a serpent, or I see that serpent talking. Come on, man, look, y'all ain't teaching you everything. There's so much more out there for you to know. And fly to embrace the secret order where a higher ideal is revealed and the prophecy of a better state is announced. You can be gods. We conclude then that secret societies have their origin in the deepest and most pressing wants of humanity. Now hold on for a second right there, man. Put your thumb right there if you guys have this book, because I want to go back and crush this lie right where it stands. Check this out. Now let's go to, again, Genesis chapter 3. Let's go back to the garden like we did in that first lesson. And check this out. Now, and the serpent said to the woman, you shall not certainly die. Again, this is Genesis chapter 3 verses 4, and I'm going to go through verse 6. Verse 5 right here says, for Yah knows, in that day you eat of it, your eyes shall be open, and you shall be like gods, knowing good and evil. And the woman saw that the tree was good for food and pleasant to the eye, and a tree desirable. You see that? That word desire correlates directly with this right here. We conclude then that the secret societies have their origin in the deepest and most pressing wants or desires of humanity. You see that? Look at that right there. This is going right back to Scripture. So the very essence of a secret society is evil. You always want to find something new. You want to live forever. You want to know the secrets of the heavens. When the secrets of the heavens were revealed to Enoch, was Enoch in a secret society? I think not. Enoch was a righteous man, righteous in the eyesight of Yah. You see? But see this. All right. So now we got that knocked out. Let's keep going. They grow out of a social arrangement which is unjust and unequal to the point forward to a time when justice and love shall possess and govern the earth. I just wanted to share that definition of secret societies right there. So that's their foundation. That's what they're built on. They're built on a lie. Going back to the original lie that Satan told. There's nothing new under the sun, brothers and sisters. There's the secret. There is no secret. Oh, we can give you all the keys and all the secrets to heaven and all of this stuff. No, you can't. No, you can't. Because like we read before in Jubilees, when Noah said that prayer to Yah, asking Yah to bind up the demons for the sake of his grandchildren, how did Satan address Yah? Satan addressed Yah as, "Oh, great master." I believe I'm paraphrasing, but we read it before, and I'll show it for you right now underneath the screen. You should be seeing it right now. You see how Satan addressed Yah? Satan addressed Yah with most reverence and most respect, but Satan will get you to disrespect Yah by joining secret societies. All right, let's continue on. Yeah, we're getting in it hot and heavy already. Now, since we're talking about secret societies, we're going to go to the very first secret society. Where do you guys think that was? Well, we left off reading with Nimrod. Nimrod spoke directly to the Anunnaki, the fallen ones, and because of his loyalty to the fallen ones, they made him a god king. We're going to read that right now. But first, let me give you guys a quick recap and a quick overview of what we read last time in the last lessons. Nimrod figures in some very early versions of history of the history of Freemasons, or Freemasonry, where he was said to have been one of the fraternity's founders. According to the Encyclopedia of Freemasonry, the legend of the craft in an old constitution refers to Nimrod as one of the founders of Masonry. Ooh, check that out. Nimrod as a founder of Masonry. And remember last time we read about Nimrod having those lamb skins that he got from his grandfather Ham, who gave them to his son, Nimrod's father Cush, and Nimrod had them, and when Nimrod put them on, he got great power? Do you think it's a coincidence that Masons that they wear aprons and lamb skins? We're going to read about the definitions of those in a couple seconds. Let me just give you this real quick. Thus, the York Mason number 1 temple, I imagine that's what that is. It says York MS number 1. We read, at ye making of, I'm sorry y'all, this is an old English, so forgive me if I butcher this. At ye making of ye tower of Babel, there was a masonry's first, much esteemed of, the king of Babylon, called Nimrod, was a mason himself and loved well masons. However, he does not figure in the current rituals. That's a lie. Why are they still wearing lambskins if he don't figure in there? Alright. Now remember, brothers and sisters, he wore that lambskin. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go back to this Masonic dictionary here, and we're gonna be reading heavily from these. I'm gonna read a lot of definitions from these books, as I'll only read one definition from this Masonic occult symbols, but we're gonna read a lot from this book right here. We're gonna read a lot from the scriptures. As always, we gotta verify what we do from scripture. So if you guys don't have these books, I'll read, just bear with me. And here we go. First of all, let's go and read. Let me take this cover off, and this cover is starting to bother me. Let me take that off. Alright, now, here we go. Let's go and read apron as defined again by the Dictionary of Freemasonry. And this is on page 87 of the book. It says, apron. The pure white lambskin apron is to the operative mason an ancient and spotless emblem. There we go. The investiture of this symbol of purity and the order, being the first gift bestowed upon the candidate, is made in behalf of the whole fraternity, while the recipient in return is required to keep himself pure in all his actions, so that he may prove to the world that it is more honorable than the star or gaiter or any other order that can be conferred upon him. Now I'm going to read that term star as well too. We're going to see, well, you guys who understand the biblical aspect of it, you already know what the star is, but what we want to do is just go ahead and confirm it. Just remember that word, star. It is worn by the operative mason to protect their garments from injury, spot, or stain. The investiture of the candidate with the apron among the primitive masons formed an essential part of the ceremony of initiation, and was attended with rites equally sufficient and impressive. This badge received a characteristic distinction from its particular color and material. With the Essian, E-S-S-E-N-I-A-N, Mason, it was accomplished by a process bearing a similar tendency, and accompanied by an illustrious, not less imposing and satisfactory to the neophyte. He was clothed in a long white robe which reached to the ground, bordered with a fringe of blue ribbon to incite personal holiness, and fastened tightly round to the waist with a girdle to separate the upper and lower parts of the body. With feet bare and head uncovered, now get this part right here, the candidate was considered the personification of modesty and humility, walking in the fear, it has God right here, but walking in the fear of Yah. Now check that out. Where does that sound familiar? I'm going to come back to that in a minute. Actually, you know what? Yeah, because this is just, right now, after I read that, it's just giving a description of, it says, the lambskin is 15 inches wide, 13 inches deep, blah, blah, blah. Alright, but I'm going to read this last part again right here, because this is what we want to focus on right here. He said, bare feet and head uncovered, the candidate was considered the personification of modesty and humility, walking in the fear of what they have, God, right here. Where does that sound familiar at? Where do we hear that before? Alright, let's go back to Scripture. Let's go back now to the Apocalypse of Adam. And again, this is the Old Testament Pseudepigrapha, Volume 1. Let's go back to the apocalypse of Adam, and this was Adam giving his testament, or his apocalypse, his revelation, to his son Seth. Now check this out. And this is the Apocalypse of Adam, page 712. This is the first chapter, chapter 1, and we're going to read verses 9 through 12. Right here it says, "After those days, the eternal knowledge of the Mighty One, Yah of truth, withdrew from me and your mother Eve. Since that time we have learned about dead things like men. Then we recognized